And we also are going to collaborate with edtech companies to have a digital infrastructure, and we can reach the people in rural areas. The education system of a country is a true indicator of its economic strength. Last year, we have seen that the new education policy 2020 was released by our former education minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank. It was after 34 years that the new education policy came into picture, and it was revamped last time in 1986. It is going to come in force from 2022, and it has been formed by the recommendation of a panel led by former ISRO chief Krishnaswamy Kasturi Ranjan. Now, there are a lot of things to talk about in this new education policy. Even the HRD ministry has been replaced or renamed as Education Ministry, such is the focus given to education this time. So, first thing that it talks about is that the gross enrollment ratio will be 100% by 2030. Second thing is that there is a new initiative called Nipun Bharat under the Atmanirbhar Bharat program, and Nipun Bharat stands for National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy. So it focuses upon the reading and number part of primary school students. Now there is another thing that the 10 plus 2 structure has been replaced by 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 structure, and this is divided in terms of age group 3 to 8, 8 to 11, 11 to 14, and 14 to 18. Now there will be 12 years of schooling plus 3 years of preschooling. There is also a regulatory body called NEET, which stands for National Education Alliance for Technology, wherein the technology will come into picture like artificial intelligence to increase the learning outcome. And we also are going to collaborate with edtech companies to have a digital infrastructure, and we can reach the people in rural areas as well. Now there is another national assessment center to be started called the Parak. So Parak stands for Performance Assessment Regulation and Analysis of Knowledge for Holistic Development. So this way the evaluation will take place looking into all these factors. Another good thing about the education policy is that it has a new project called STARS, which stands for Strengthening Teaching Learning Environment for Results of States, wherein it will help the government to tackle any kind of loss in education because of school closures in the emergency situations, which is very important when we know that we are grappling from a pandemic time and which has many more waves to come. There is a focus on high order skills this time for marking, and these skills include critical thinking, analysis, conceptual understanding, and the old marks system has been removed, which was also a need of the hour because marking system was not up to the mark. Now there is more focus on training the teachers so that there is a practical and experiential way of learning, and the environment is more holistic. This education policy also states that up till class 5th, the schools have the leeway, or the state have the leeway to provide education in any language, even it could be a mother tongue as well. So there is no mandatory language, it can be any language, so which is also a good move for diversification. After class 5th, from 6th onwards, the vocational and skill based training will start, and even subjects like programming will be taught to students, and which will have a huge impact on India's soft power in the coming future. So this is another good move. Even internships are also being talked about. So there is this freedom given to the students of class 11th and 12th choose their subjects in multidisciplinary manner. So there earlier we used to have the science, the commerce, arts, but now a student can pick a subject of science and can also study a subject of arts. So this is a good move taken from the Germany's education policy. There are multiple exit and entry options for the graduation students in graduation, so that even if their learning gets hampered or stopped because of some reason, they can continue it from the very same year. So, which is again a good move to remove or reduce the dropout rates. There's a lot of freedom given to the state in terms of education and its affairs, and which is very very important for simple and smooth functioning. And there is also a academic credit bank, which is voluntarily bank to provide funding for the education. So this credit bank for academic credit bank is also a very good move. Now coming forward, we also have a regulatory body or a board of management, which is replacing the syndicate system of appointing vice chancellors. So now this regulatory body will have ex vice chancellors of not just one but multiple universities, and will have prominent people from various backgrounds. And this will be a rotational based regulatory body, and this is going to increase the transparency in election of appointment of the vice chancellor in higher education, which is going to be a good move. Now a personal opinion or a personal advice from my end is that there has to be more accountability of faculties as well, wherein there has to be a early plan that the faculties should be uploading in the university's website, wherein they'll indicate their plan in research and development, and also the way of creative ways of teaching. So in this way they'll have a plan ready, and they wouldn't have to think more on what to do. They'll already have a plan, and they'll focus on the implementation part of it. So overall, the education policy has a lot of things to talk about, lot of things that we are looking forward to be implemented as on papers. And if it is implemented properly, this is going to have a huge change in the education system of our country for good. Thank you.